Nancy Bean. I was Nancy Kiker, and I'm the child of the Texas Panhandle. All of my grandparents were Dust Bowl farmers, and not one of them had a high school education. So my parents were not only first generation college graduates, they were first generation high school graduates, both of them. And so they inspired me throughout my life to be a person, an obedient person of God. So I can tell you a little story that will kind of put it in a nutshell who I am. When I was a little girl, a little redheaded girl, I woke my parents up in the middle of the night because I had figured it out. So I wanted to explain to them how government could make sure that everyone had enough. So, because I had been laying awake worrying because we were traveling and I had seen so many children on the road and so many people who looked like they didn't have enough to eat and they didn't have clothes to wear and they weren't taken care of. So I was figuring it out. So I did that because I grew up in a home where we were taught that our job, the most important thing we had to do, was to love our neighbor as ourselves. So I married Dr. Alan Bean, and we've been married for 42 years. And we have 3 grown children. Our 2 sons are both public school teachers. Adam teaches Spanish at the HEB school district, and Amos teaches special education in Arlington. And we also have a daughter, Lydia Nan. She was a professor at Baylor, and then she started her own nonprofit called Faith in Texas, in which she fought for justice, organized faith communities to fight for justice in their communities. And now she's running for office. So, I did lots and lots of things in my life. I started out with early childhood education, human development, family relations, with a degree in that. And then I felt really called to the ministry. And that's where I met Alan, my husband. He was also in seminary. So I went to seminary and we co-pastored for a while. We were both ordained. And then I went into education. So I was in education for nearly 25 years, just recently retired. First as a teacher of early childhood and then special education, and then I became a counselor. So the last 12 years I was a counselor for special needs children here in Arlington. And while I was exploring all of that, I decided that somebody needed to fight for education. So I ran for the state Texas Board of Education, and then I realized that they weren't the ones making the decision about funding. So in 2016 and in 2018, I ran for the Texas House for District 93. And when I started running, it was at 37%, and I moved knocking on doors and talking to people, and so in 2018 I got 46% of the vote. So my husband said he needed a little break, so to do that full time, I retired from counseling in Arlington ISD to run full time, but I also started my own counseling practice called Whole Heart Solutions. So I've done a lot of things, and now I'm doing that, but I'm also helping my daughter in her campaign for House District 93.
Awesome. Do you have a motivational quote you would like to say to the crowd of people that is viewing you today?
I do. We raised our children at the, singing the blessing at the table. Lots of times we had lots of people from the community. Children would drop in and live with us for sometimes 2 years. People in the community would drop in and stay with us sometimes, for a long time. And at the dinner table, one of our blessings that we sang was Micah 6:8. He has shown thee, O man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee, but to do justice and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God. So that's the way that I've tried to live my life. That's the way Alan and I have raised our children to live their lives.
That was absolutely wonderful. I felt myself shiver as you said that. What gave you the courage as a woman to run for state senator, not once, Nancy, but twice?
Well, it does take courage. It does take courage to run. It's a hard job. Talking to lots of people. Not everybody is kind, but most people are, by the way. What gave me the courage was practice. I've been practicing courage since I was a little girl. That's part of that thing that my parents taught me about loving your neighbor as yourself. And sometimes loving your neighbor means sitting next to the kid at the cafeteria lunch table who is the child who has unbrushed hair and stinky clothes. So I practiced then courage, and you practice courage one step at a time. So you don't do big things at first, you do little things. And then those little things lead you on a path. And my path is the roads keep diverging and the path is steeper and steeper, but you've been practicing. You got the muscles, you can do the job. So our family has done a lot of hard things, including when we moved to Tulia, Texas. Right away there was a drug sting, and we did some research and discovered that the whole thing was messed up and bogus. So we spent many years fighting that for justice for our neighbors. So lots of practice and courage.
That was absolutely wonderful. How do you balance out work, family, and life?
Well, my life is my family. I mean, what we do working for justice and in the political arena and in the community is the family affair. So we've always brought our children along into this arena of working for justice. So it's not really this or that. It's like the dinner table.
It's inclusive. Your family is inclusive.
Yes, it's our project.
Yes. I love it. So when you bring your family along to do what you all are called to do,
yes.
It's not work, it's community.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What motivation can you give high school kids?
Well, from the beginning, kids need to find a purpose and an intent for their life. And working with kids and adults for many, many years, I realized that that's what's really missing. A lot of people are seeking happiness, but happiness doesn't come from seeking happiness. Joy doesn't come from seeking joy. It's about doing the purpose that you were meant to do. It's about intending where your life is going to go, and then doing the work step by step that's going to take you there, including the people in that journey that you can bless and that can bless you, and then moving outward from there. So high school students, even as young as freshmen, need to be finding what their purpose is in the world.
Thank you. That was very good. Do you think personal development should be implemented in public schools?
Yes, for sure. We were just talking earlier about how personal development in a really functional, stable home is done at the dinner table.
Yes.
But not everybody is blessed with the dinner table. So yes, I think we need to have classes that include how to budget, how to balance your checkbook, how to put air in your tire, how to negotiate conflict, how to negotiate agreements, and how to make peace, how to deal with bullies.
Yes.
And so, yeah, lots of personal development.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Those are very good tips. What are your future plans?
Well, I'm doing lots of things. And so I'm kind of living my future now because I had always wanted to start my own counseling practice, and I'm doing that. And I also wanted to make a real difference for more people by serving in government. And so I'm taking a break from that, but not really. So I am going to get my daughter elected, and then I'm going to help her in her office in Austin, because I know we're going to win this time. And then with I want to be out there for my children when they have their children. So I want to support them in that so that they can raise their children with the kind of direction and intention and purpose that we were able to give to our children.
That's wonderful. And if anyone needs to reach you for private counseling, how can they reach you?
Well, they can go to my webpage, which is wholeheartsolutions.com, wholeheartsolution.com, or my Facebook page, wholeheartsolution.com.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Nancy. And I truly wish you and your family many blessings, prosperity, health, and much success to your daughter, whom is running for state senate. You said in Austin.
It's the state representative.
State representative.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, and may you be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.